Saturday night, right?
It's almost Sunday night.
It's almost Sunday night. So,
Pretty
Radio
late.
10 Photo Podcast, Episode 3, Saturday night, almost Sunday night, with my best friend Daniela Garza. That's your name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that's not what you call me ever, but
Yeah.
that is my birth name.
Daniela, a.k.a. Weta Garza.
Yeah.
So,
Let's talk.
Let's talk. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how we met and how we became BFFs. Fs. AE.
F us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So him and I have been friends since our senior year of high school, which
Who is him?
the Ben Briones of Ben Briones Photography.
Ben Briones Studios.
Oh, Ben Briones
It's
Esquire.
Esquire.
Esquire of everything. No, well, we met senior year of high school, probably not even the first semester, like the spring semester, and we've been friends ever since. We were together, in our friendship through graduating from high school, seeing each other graduate from undergrad, our awkward Austin phases of some of us, our transitioning phases and figuring things out in our lives phases.
Yeah.
Grad school for myself, you seeing your business starting from the get.
Yep.
Through a lot, man. And now entering the quest for adulting.
Adulting. And my adulting party is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I just turned 27 this Wednesday, March 30th. And it doesn't feel any different, but I know I'm getting older. And as we were talking about earlier, man, everybody's getting married, they have kids, and we're over here not at that level.
Yeah, we're I'm adulting, but not that adulting. Not adulting with dependents, unless, well, my dependents have fur and 4 legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine have lenses.
And but they're still caged up, so you're
they're caged.
fine.
I got them fine. I just take out the batteries, they'll be fine. So yeah, Daniela and I have been friends for a long time, since high school. She's always been one of my go-to models when I first started. She would post for me, her and my other best friend Laura. It was us. We'd call ourselves the Trinity.
The Trinity.
Because it was 3 of us.
So it's a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been helpful in my business in every way that she could possibly can.
With my multiple positions in the business.
Yeah. And sadly, I've been able to pay her the most minimal I can. But
minimum, I get way below minimum wage.
You're not supposed to share that.
But it's what friends are for. But
Yeah.
I like how I'm working my way down in the totem pole of the employment. I started off as model to office manager, marketing person to assistant / housekeeper and equipment put away.
Just because my office is in my house doesn't mean you're a housekeeper.
When there is lists sweeping, that may be housekeeping.
Every office has to be swept though.
Okay, well, yeah, you're
At least
right.
I don't have carpet. You're gonna be
vacuuming
and stuff. And this is my office space is what 154 square little cube.
But you don't know how much stuff you fit in that.
Yeah, it's legit. And then thank you so much for. I want to let everybody know how helpful you've been, and if people who are watching this get a best friend, they're very helpful.
Aw.
Thank you, Daniela, for everything you've done for me.
Well, let it be known, the original Ben Briones photo booth was made in my Austin apartment.
Yeah, there was this point in my college career where I was homeless for about 2 weeks because there was a transition from moving from one apartment to another. Mm-hmm. Daniela was living there at the time, up north Austin, right?
Yeah, I lived super far north. I
super
lived
far.
On Palmer. One step away was what was that other?
Pflugerville?
Yeah.
So I was in the phase of building a touchscreen photo booth. One of the first ones brought down to the valley and used here. And so at the time I had gotten my financial aid for that semester, and I was like, you know what, how am I going to blow this $2,000 extra from this loan? And I'm like, photo booth. Why not increase my revenue somehow in my business and build a touchscreen photo booth out of thin air while being homeless? So Daniela was kind enough to let me stay at her place, and it wasn't just, and it was what, third floor or second floor?
It was second floor.
Second floor.
Thank God it wasn't third floor. Imagine lugging the photo booth because it was in pieces.
Yeah.
I still remember going to that man's house, that random man's house that lived over there when you had bought the plexi glass and stuff for it, and he was like invited us like, "Whoa, do you want to eat here?" And so we were like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
we're fine. We should be going."
Yeah, so there was an adventure to build that booth. The first booth I made, was out of plexiglass and a bunch of different little materials, wood, metal. I had a guy that I met.
It was the heaviest thing ever.
It was super heavy. He custom welded this screen holding component for the photo booth. That was.
And then there were little compartments inside for the different parts of the Apple products you had.
Yeah. And so all these things were like not put together yet. I was still in the building plans, and I was living in Daniela's not bedroom, in Daniela's balcony / living room, and I would sleep on the sofa. And when I had a chance, of course, I was still going to school at UT, and I was building the photo booth at the same time on her balcony.
I remember coming back one day and going to my balcony and seeing like the spray can like outline around the photo booth when you tried coloring it.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. We're past that already.
Yeah, and so that's the story in short form. Daniela allowed me to build my photo booth at her place, and I'm very appreciative.
But it was a great time. Yeah. It was fun.
Austin, when you had that weird fleco, that weird
the what?
your bangs.
Oh yeah, my weird Egyptian bangs. I had thought it was I rocked the bangs when I was growing up as a child, and I remember how hard it was for me to convince my mother to finally get me out of them. Yeah. And then just for me to go and run away to Austin and give myself bangs again, but then I got them cut right before your birthday because, of course, being a photographer's best friend and it being his birthday, your pictures are going to be taken all the time.
Everywhere.
All the time. Everywhere, every position, every awkward face you make. So I thought, perfect, I'm going to get my hair cut. Worst bangs of my life. They look like bangs from like an Egyptian
It looks
costume.
Like, I don't want to be mean, but it looked like you cut them yourself.
Like I what?
Like you cut them yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Or like I gave some like child scissors to cut it for me.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's the Austin thing, right? That's what you go into this professional salon and they're like...
It was a Birds. I remember the best thing about the haircut was like...
Free beer?
Oh, yeah. I had like the shiner was amazing. The shiner there was always freezing cold. And I was like, best.
I went one time for a haircut and I remember the free beer. So, Daniela, the one question I want you to answer today, or just kind of emphasize on and just explore and talk about, is the main topic that why I brought you on episode 3 is how has it been being a best friend to a professional photographer? I think I phrased it right?
Yeah, it was worded well. It's interesting because you and I come from completely different backgrounds. I mean, you went into like you're very artsy and hustler and stuff like that, and I'm the one that's like don't talk to me unless I'm talking to you sort of person, and very
nerd.
Yeah, nerd. Yeah, no, perfect word for it, and it's fine. I own it now. I do. I didn't before, but so it was always really amazing to me to see you grow because, like you mentioned when we started the podcast or the episode, like I was your first model and stuff like that, and I remember seeing you like with your first business card, and then from that, like seeing you hand out business cards, and even when we would go out and just hang out as friends, like when we used to go to what was it, Art Walk, remember, like handing out those
flyers,
the business cards when you set up the photo booth at random in one corner one time.
Dude, the lines were huge. Yeah, what I would do is when I first wanted people to find out about the booth, I would set it up at the McAllen Art Walk every first Friday of the month, and we would offer free photo booth fun, like pictures, people can go and do it for free with their friends, family, girlfriends, whoever they were with. But all I required from them was to like my page on Facebook. Either they had to like it beforehand, and I was back in the day you were able to type in a name and find out if they liked it, or I would see them like it in front of me, and that was it. I didn't charge anything like that. It was sad because the McAllen Art Walk made me take it down. Like they didn't allow me to do it anymore because they thought I was charging, and I just told them no. I'm asking people just to like my business page. But yeah, I mean, it was it was fun those days, you know.
Yeah, like I remember those days. Like, and I remember thinking, like, man, he has that takes a lot of courage to go up to people you don't know, talk about yourself and talk about something you're really passionate about, which for you has always been your business, and seeing it from when you were just doing quinceañeras from people who were like the younger siblings of our classmates to a couple of the first weddings you shot were classmates of ours to
they
like
still are
to now, and it's been really, I don't know, like, I mean, the main word that comes to mind is like being really proud of you, because I know how much effort it's taken you to get to this point and stuff like that, and it you never cease to amaze me how much more you decide to add to your plate.
Yeah, like this podcast show.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to keep growing and reinventing yourself, reinventing your business, because not you're gonna be left behind, you know.
Well, not only so much that, but even like it takes a lot for a person to fully be comfortable with themselves and let themselves flourish in all their creative ability. I think that's really cool to do.
You know, one of the things that I noticed too is that, you know, when you have a real friend, like they're there for you, like you were always there for me. Like, what was it, a couple of weeks back that my power went out and I was like, hey bro, can I like stay in one of your rooms or what?
Well, yeah.
And like, because you know, I had a wedding the next day, and I was like, I need to charge all my equipment, and like for me, I was so there was no hesitation to ask you, because I knew you would say yes, because you're my best friend, you know. Like, I don't know if y'all have friends like that, but I mean, to have someone like that just says, dude, just come by, you know.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That, and I provided breakfast the next day.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I didn't make it. I bought it, but.
Yeah. 107 Cafe.
107 Cafe, the best. The specials.
It's all right. I like SP's better. I need to take you to SP's. Have we taken you to SP's?
No, but I mean, that's like opposite end of town for me.
Yeah. One day we'll do it. So, continue. I mean, what else did you find as my business grew, as our friendship grew / my business grew? What were you noticing? That way, other people who are watching this that are not photographers, but their friends are photographers.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it was cool for me to see, like, as you yourself grew and we got older and we matured or what have you, like, your business did as well, like, in a pretty steady pace with each other, you know. Oh man, like, you know what I forgot to bring up?
What?
Remember when you not only lived in Austin and you were going to school in Austin full time and building the photo booth, but you were also working full time here
in the valley. Yeah.
In the valley, and you would drive down every weekend to shoot weddings.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
And you know what? I was going through my iPhoto yesterday, and I remember y'all would come with me, you and Laura, and like when y'all would fall asleep in my car. I had a 2001.
No AC.
No AC, Cavalier, Chevy Cavalier. We had the row with the windows down when it was the hottest days in the Texas, you know, the 103 degrees, 105 degree type weather.
And we would come back we would show up to the valley with like awkward tan lines because we fell asleep in weird positions and the windows were down.
Yeah, so these girls would always fall asleep on me, man, like Laura and Daniela. But I always got them back. I didn't have an iPhone at the time. I had a BlackBerry.
Hey, for me, what was difficult was the fact that I was the backseat person, so I was with the most stuff.
Yeah, so that's the picture I saw. I saw you stacked in the back with like all the equipment, the photo booth, the box that I would carry with all my lighting and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I can't believe these girls would agree to go down with me in this messed up car with no aircon. I was like, these are best friends.
Well, like, imagine, and that was your car, and then we also used my car to like transport whatever random things we needed
to build it, right?
To build it or whatever.
Yeah.
Or move you.
Yeah, that's true. Because I had a little baby Cavalier. It didn't work out that well with that big stuff.
Oh, remember my car was even like the chariot for us and your family for your graduation when we went to graduation dinner for you. I was like, everybody get in my car.
Let's do this. Yeah. And now that I remember too, my second apartment in Austin was also second floor, so I was hauling that photo booth. I remember y'all would help me.
No, and then remember that was also when you got this, which you still have it, that huge
Pelican case.
Yeah. Oh my God, I remember lugging that.
Because I was dumb, you know why? I would put, not only would I put all the equipment, like the standard lighting, cameras and lenses, But I would add like the weights that you put on the on the light stands. I was stupid. We could have just carried the weights by themselves.
No. Remember, one time we went to, where was it? Like the Greenbelt area, because you were going to shoot a UT graduation photo shoot for one of your friends, and you were like, "Oh, bring the case." So we're there trying, like, in the Greenbelt in Austin, which is like all rocks and sand and dirt and everything, and trying to roll this.
We were just dragging it. We weren't rolling it.
Like, well, what should have been rolling, like, quotes, rolling, but it was just, like, scraping it and, like, trying to carry it, and both of us would try carrying it and, like, struggling, and then to open it, set up, and then to go back.
Yeah, dude, I still have it, but I kind of downsized on that. I'm now with the nice little Canon backpack that I love. But, dude, I saw those photos, too, because it was Michaela Hernandez, I believe is her name. She's real tall, real beautiful girl. She actually is really really interesting character because she works for, I think she works for a company called Solo Shots, and I'm pretty sure those photographers listening in, and anybody who has seen these devices, is you put on a tripod. It's a little block you put on a tripod. It already has a camera in it. You wear a wristband. So let's say you're a snowboarder. You set up your tripod at the bottom of the hill. You're coming down the hill. This Solo Shot is following you because you have that wristband, so they're connecting either Wi-Fi. I don't know how they're connecting. Some kind of radio trigger they're connecting. So the camera is actually not. You don't need a man on the camera. It's like this device. So she works for that. So she actually one day reached out to me and said, "Hey Ben, I'll be able to hook you up with either a really cheap prototype or get you half price off
or a deal. Deal. Yeah.
She hasn't reached out to me yet, but it would be cool to have one of those because they also have one for DSLR. So you can. That shows on the commercials. It shows a man putting his DSLR camera on top of those, going out to the waves, surfing, and the camera has a shutter release. That Solo Shot has a shutter release device that shoots multiple images as you're surfing. As long as you wear that wristband, the camera device follows you. So you don't really need anybody on a tripod to be managing that. You got that little Solo Shot thing.
That's really cool.
Solo Shot. If you're hearing this, send me a product. Kidding.
Me too.
Yeah, send one to Daniela because she likes to take selfies.
I wish.
Okay, so you were saying that. What were you saying again about the?
Well, we were just talking about your hustle, man.
No, but we were talking about the driving in the car and coming down every weekend, and y'all would sometimes take a ride with me when y'all come to visit your family and stuff.
That or I remember sometimes like you would be fed up with your car, so you would ask me like, "Hey, can I go in yours?" And I'd be like, yeah, sure."
Yeah, I always have to have mine though. There's a few times we took yours, but it's because of the equipment that I would take. What else, Daniel? What else could you share that you would see in me as a friend? An outsider looking into a growing. Because I wasn't super pro at the time. I was professional, but I wasn't like registered IRS. Paying taxes and what I am now, and I hate it.
Yeah, I'll hate it soon too. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, like seeing your skill improve a lot. Like I still remember when I was like one of the first models you had, and seeing some of the pictures.
Remember those photos we took at Michelle's graduation?
Yes,
there's a tractor.
It all of a sudden became like Western themed photo shoot out of nowhere.
And like our friend's party that we're supposed to be paying attention to, like we're just photographing you.
Well, we do that. Well, that's the thing. Like having a best friend as a photographer, like everything turns out into a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Like you don't intend it to, but it just does. It doesn't matter. Like some of the best one of the best photos I have of myself is this super embarrassing photo, but you and I had hung out and we drank too much, and we just had a fun time because it was when I first moved to Austin, and you captured a picture of me like the next morning because of course everybody always knew that they could always crash out on my couch. And like I remember, do you remember, it's a black and white photo where I'm holding this like huge bottle of like pomegranate like juice. Yes. And it's like the most happiest picture of me I've ever seen in my life.
And I have it on my top 10 like 2010 images on Facebook.
Yeah, like I still love that picture. Like I should probably eventually print out that picture because I just remember looking at it and it just brought like great memories. And and I don't know, like I mean I remember seeing that sort of stuff and thinking like, having you as my best friend, like you capture the best stuff. Yeah. And like, hello, you were my makeshift photographer for my graduation at Pan Am because a lot of my family couldn't even make, or not UTRGV
Yeah.
this past fall.
Whatever. It's still Pan Am to me.
Yeah, same. I have 2 degrees from one from Pan Am, one from UTRGV. Yeah, like, I mean, it comes in handy having a photographer best friend.
I would always tell my friends, I probably have more images of you than your parents have. Of, like, your childhood growing up. Because, like, you know, as with the digital camera, you just shoot.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I have this thing where I don't delete images. I only delete them if they're blurry, underexposed, overexposed. But the majority of the time...
Or begging.
I'm just too good, you know, so none of that really happens, so... I'm just kidding. But yeah, I have so many images of Daniela and Laura and a lot of other friends, but mostly them too. I always tell them, like, man, I got more images than I need.
Than you want.
Than I want. Let me check on the camera just to make sure they're still recording.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back on. We got some gangster music in the background.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I just put it on SoundCloud, you know?
It's pretty good.
So, we were talking about, I don't know, we were just talking about...
Like how it was about having,
yeah.
like, pros about having a photographer best friend.
Everything turned into a photo shoot. And that was fun. We did photo shoots for Laura. We did photo shoots for you. Like, either...
Like, even if we didn't want the photo shoot, it was still, like, happening.
Yeah.
Like,
would you say... I remember one time you made a comment, or someone made a comment, I think it was you, that... You felt like you had to, like, dress up now more or have your makeup always ready because, like, you knew I was going to be around with the camera all the time?
Oh, yeah. Like, that was always the thing. Or sometimes we would hang out and I wouldn't have, like, makeup on or something like now. Mm-hmm. Case in point, I should have known better by now. And to be like, oh, crap, he's taking pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't erase the pictures. Or, like, something gets posted.
They go straight to Facebook.
Oh, no, straight to Instagram and social media. Like, I think one of the worst pictures of me...
Is it online?
Yeah, it's online. It's on the Instagram. Remember, you and I went to Laura's house, and there was the cow in, like, her name.
Yeah, the neighbor's cow.
And
like a random cow.
And I'm doing this... Like, and I should know now, being a photographer's, like, best friend. Oh, and that was another job I had. Remember, I used to help at the photo shoots, like, with positioning and stuff. But yet I still managed to do this weird, like, over-the-head arm pointing thing.
Yeah.
And I don't...
But didn't you... Was I the one that said, hey, let me take you a picture next to the cow? Or was it you that said, take me... Were you the one that said, take me a picture?
It was probably, like, both.
Yeah. We already knew.
Because there's... We just, like... We don't...
I mean, who doesn't
like
take a photo with a random cow in someone's front yard?
It's like that scene from Bridesmaids where, like, I feel like we could communicate just with a look. Yeah. And it's like, yeah.
Picture, yeah.
Picture, yeah.
And that was an iPhone image. I mean, I used to carry my camera everywhere. You remember how it was like my accessory?
Yeah,
like,
and you know how dangerous that was? All the time.
Takes a necklace. I know, we were documenting things people shouldn't be looking at, man. Parties, events. No, I'm kidding.
No, it wasn't even just that. It was just like... We're walking around downtown and you're carrying this really expensive camera that's sticking out with the lens.
It was also... No, I always try to carry a small lens, 50mm. But it was always... well, not always. I always had that big one too sometimes.
You had that big one sometimes. That's why I'm like, you cannot front that. Sometimes you carry the one, like, not the super, like, NFL, like, network, ESPN cameras, sports cameras, lenses, but, like, the smaller one. And or the medium one. And I was like,
I mean, now at the time...
But people's positions change around you. Like, when they would see you roll in...
Ben Briones is in the house.
Yeah, and you would all of a sudden see them start doing, like their best sides when they would talk to you. And then, like, arm out, like, turn their body. As
one of my friends from work says, the chicken arm. Or I don't know if she says, like...
Yeah. But, I mean, supposedly it makes your arm look thinner.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, better than it being to the side.
It's true. And then, like I was saying, I would carry my camera on all the time. It was always like my accessory. It was my necklace. But now, you know, I kind of haven't done that in a while. Because you got the iPhone. It has already like high megapixels and immediate upload to social media to embarrass all my friends and Daniela. Mm-hmm. I apologize in advance for any photos I posted you.
It's okay. I'm already used to it. I've had like 10 years almost of it.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
If anybody wants to find Daniela on Instagram, I forgot her Instagram. It's Danny Palooza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the
DJ Mega Weta.
no, Mega DJ Weta?
Oh, Mega DJ Weta. Dude. That was like, remember when you were like,
when we had
and
AIM?
I was like, add me on AIM, and you're like, AOL AIM, and you're like, oh, my mom doesn't let me do that. And then like I think you asked your mom permission, and she said yes, and so you're like, what name should I have? And I was like,
I'll come up with one.
Mega DJ Weta in the mix.
Yeah, and sadly, for a long time, like I think the last person that ever asked me about my AIM account was probably like 3 years ago, and they asked me, didn't you have an AIM account? Like, what was the name on it? I was like, oh, Mega DJ Weta, because of course I have fond memories of it.
Yeah.
And they were like, were you actually a DJ? No.
It looks like you're a DJ with those headphones right now.
I know. I kind of like it. I'm living my dream.
Yeah. So, as she was saying too, that was kind of interesting that we would turn everything into a photo shoot. Or we would like, if we were walking down Austin or something with the camera, I'd be like, Daniela, just pose right there real quick. I would always see this light, or I would see some kind of angle and color, and I liked what she was wearing. Daniela's really fancy and stuff. And so like, and she's a real hipster. And so like, I would put her in was real hipster in Austin.
Now I've had to mainstream.
Yeah. And so I would like always pose her or Laura, because Laura's a nice fro, would like just fit in perfectly in the spot.
And that jawline though.
Yeah. And so, and Laura always, what does she like? She liked her shoulder. She's always like, make sure my shoulder or something. I don't know.
Or her clavicle.
Yeah.
Her collarbone.
And they would always be like, send me those photos. And of course, they try to make them their Facebook profiles and all this stuff.
Yeah, but then I remember there was a point where like you knew consciously that we were like dressing a certain way and posing a certain way, so it could be a perspective like profile picture, and then you would tell us like, no, I'm not going to anymore. Dude. So you stopped and you wouldn't post it, or you would make it where like we couldn't use the photos anymore.
I copyrighted them. I was like, you have to buy these, Daniela.
And
I don't care if you're my best friend. I don't care if you let me live at your house.
I know. I was like,
the download is $10 for this JPEG. Low resolution. Facebook upload only. No, I mean, you know, and
well, it's because being a photographer, you also have to like I'm assuming like be particular like who your friends are, because sometimes people will use you just for pictures.
Yeah, I get a lot of people that are like, hey man, you know, we're in high school, dude. Like, can you shoot this event for me? Or my party's coming to my event. Hey man, I'll put your name all over Facebook. I'll promote you. And I'm like, bro, like,
calm down.
Do you know who I am? 2, do you know who I am? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that well known. But you get a lot of people trying to take advantage of the fact that you're a photographer and they knew you at one time, or like know your name, and you might have bumped in high school one time. But I get a lot of like, I'll promote your name out there. I'll tag you on the photos, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm beyond the free photo shoot. Mm-hmm. You know, get my
name out there.
My name out there, like
your name's on everything.
My name is on everything, and my face is on everything. So.
Well, not only just that, I remember back in the day, like people would, like when we would hang out like at Roosevelt's or something, people would approach you just so they could take a picture with you or so. Yeah. And
they're like, hey, you're been
take my picture. Yeah. Take a picture with me because I know
you'll post it. I noticed that has slowed down, and I feel kind of sad about it, but. I remember I remember that. Like, people random. It's because I was hustling real hard at that time. I was everywhere, trying to put my face everywhere, trying to put my name everywhere. And so we'd go to Roosevelt's, we'd go to what was that coffee shop that we'd go to that would like close down?
Oh, I had thought about it the last time, and it was the best coffee shop. Or that's where like I survived like undergrad, like for the last 2 years. Ambrosia. We go to Ambrosia. We go to Moonbeams, some of the local Starbucks, and random people be like, hey, you're that photographer guy, you're Ben Briones, and like I didn't know who these people were, and we did art walk, a bunch of art walks,
and they're like, well, I follow you, dude, I follow your work. But I was shooting like a lot of random things too, and I was just posting up a lot of stuff, a lot of work, just constant.
Well, that's when you were finding your footing, because I remember for a while you had even stopped, you were doing any type of photography, and then you had stopped because you wanted to just do wedding photography, and then you started expanding off of that, and now look at you. Now you're the professional photographer for a university.
It's true. That is true.
And you do your business.
Yeah. I am the PR and marketing photographer for South Texas College currently.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks. They need to pay me more. But
that's like story of everybody's life with their job.
Yeah. But it's cool, man, because I was working at Bird Ogden for a while, and I don't know why I took that job. But another photographer friend of mine told me, hey, come get, they need a help at Bird Ogden. She kind of told me that they needed photography help too, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna check it out. I applied. I got interviewed. The guy liked me. He was a Longhorn fan. He found out I was going to UT. He found out I went to UT and graduated from there. I think that made an impression on him. I don't know why. But I got hired. I got the job. I was only there for 5 months, but I know God put me in that place because before that happened, either before, or was it after my dad had the heart attack, or before?
I think it was after, no?
Yeah, I think because I got the job, I was working there. They started me off at $30,000 a year, and to me, like, that was like, whoa. I mean, I had been making double that in my business, but it fluctuates. So like, you don't see the money as often as an incoming paycheck like Bird Ogden that would give you, direct deposit. And you're like, what do I do with all this money? And so after my dad had a heart attack, he didn't have a job, so I was helping out my family and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I know God had put me in that place for a certain reason. I wasn't doing photography. I was doing, they called it online marketing. Mm-hmm. I was making sure the websites were working, all that good jazz with the car dealership websites. But I know that the money that was coming in, I was able to buy the computer that we're recording off right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of the equipment I have, I was thanks to Bird Ogden and the paycheck that they were giving me, and able to help out my parents when they were, when they had their little incident with health issues.
Yeah, their life.
Yeah.
When life happened.
So I'm really excited that I'm really thankful that I got that job, even though it wasn't photography related. I quit, and God had a plan for me. A couple of months later, I was offered the position at South Texas College, and there I am now. It's part-time, but according to the director, I'm going to get a full-time. So knock on wood, cross your fingers, say a prayer for me.
Fingers always crossed.
Yeah.
At all times.
You're like, I was born like this. Sorry.
I was born like that already. Don't tell anybody.
I won't. And then what else, Daniela? What else would you say about being a best friend to a photographer?
Well, I mean, like, understanding, like how a business grows, and how, when people are building a business, it's not an overnight success. It actually takes a lot of work and like 24/7 care of that business.
Yeah.
For example, whenever I was studying, like at all hours of the night when I was in grad school, I knew that the only person I could text at like 3 o'clock in the morning was you.
Because on his studio.
Yeah. He was always awake, and sure enough, he would be.
Dude, lately I've been staying up till like 3 or 4. And it's because, well, one, getting this podcast show kind of prepared and just doing all the branding for it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Just the logistics of how I'm going to put it out there and stuff like that. And I just edit late. My best time for working is late. And
that's your power hour.
You're right. You would always text me, and I'd be awake, and I'd be like, yo, what's up?
Taco P?
Taco P or what?
Some coffee? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as a photographer, I will tell you that as a photographer and a small business owner, I will tell you that it does take a lot of hustling, a lot of work. And this is not just for photography. It's for any type of company out there. Any person that's listening to this and says, you know what, I'm really looking into building a business, trying something out like that. Be aware that you sleep less and you work a lot more than you expect to. You have to be, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, the mason, right? Is it the mason? Well, when you say like, dang, I just messed up that thing.
No, go for it.
Yeah,
explain it.
It's I have the book right here. He talks about being the executor, right? Being the executor, but also like you can only be the thought thinker. You can't only be the planner. You have to be the executor too. So he was saying being the mason and the architect.
Okay. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Beautiful sense.
Yeah. So, and that's what it is too. I always tell my friends that are in photography, doing it professionally or trying to do it professionally, I tell them, you got to step out of the business, man. You got to step back. You gotta look at your company like it's not your own, and you got to say what is messing up, what is working, and what needs to change. And if you can't do that, then that's where your business starts to go downhill, And sometimes I literally will stay up super late not working on anything productive as far as like editing video or photos or producing any type of like images for my clients. It's literally just thinking about where is Ben Brion Studios going and what can I do different to grow it. So like a lot of it is thought too, writing down. I tell everybody, write everything down. You remember the little black notepads that I always carry?
Yeah. The ones that I find like scattered throughout the office, yeah.
Yeah.
That I pick up?
So all my business plans and all my ideas have always been written on those things, and it's a lot easier to execute something when you see it on paper because it becomes more lively.
That, and you're always studying, man. Like, you're always studying. Like, either you're reading business books or you're watching YouTube videos on people who created small businesses or podcasts, like...
Yeah. Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk right here.
Yeah, like you're the new thing that you got me obsessed with. And,
yeah.
like, I don't even own a small business, but I like how much drive he ends up putting into things. And, like, I mean, I guess the cool thing about having you as a best friend isn't so much... Like, yeah, it's the photography part. Like, I've always loved how, like, creative you are and how your way of looking at the world is a lot prettier version of what I do. Like, you look at images and you look at the world and you think, how would that look as a picture? You know? But, like, I don't know, like, having you for a best friend that's, as far as you being a small business owner, really makes me, like, you know, more motivated, or makes me be less fearful of taking chances of things. Like, right before we were talking about this, I was talking about, like, hey, well, maybe I could do a podcast.
Dude, and you can. I'm telling you, dude, I'll go and hook you up at your house. And
well, like, remember, we've come up with, like, random things where I'm like, oh, I should do a podcast too, or, oh, man, like, I want to do, like, a little league that helps, like, special need kids and just random stuff. And you're always like, do it, man, do it.
Yeah,
do it.
The thing is executing the idea. You know, we have, you know, you don't want to be just talk. You want to do something.
Yeah, that's the first jump. And
I think you could do it. You have the time, you have the means, and you have the skills. You're very smart. You're very outgoing. You can speak to people. And making the connection between, you know, I was telling my friend Mike yesterday in episode 2. He has this idea to film a movie. He was like, you know what, Matt? I don't have all the equipment and stuff like that. So it's just been tough to get started. And I said, you know what, Mike? It sounds like you're like, could be in the director's chair. You go and hire or get an intern to film it for you. And you just kind of plan it. I'll say, hey, camera A and B, I need y'all to roll this way and do this. And this is the picture I want. You frame it. They do it for you. Right? So connecting people. There are people out there that like are going to have interest in the Little League. They're going to have interest in the podcast. That you wanted to do for special needs children. And so I'm telling you, I'm all about like assisting you. I'm not gonna baby walk you the whole way, you know, like
but at least you motivate me.
You know, I'll set you up. You want to? I can't buy you these things, but we can go and look at them.
What?
Okay. You know what I'm saying? You don't even need all this equipment. You know, it's not even anything fancy. But yeah, I can hook you up. Like, we can. I think you would have. What I tell people is, if you're gonna do a project or a side project, it has to bless someone. It has to, like, you have to do it with the mind that is not for you, right? Like, this podcast is not for me. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for people to listen in and say, hey, that guy or that girl hit it on the spot. I've been through that, or I'm going through that right now. Whether it's just real life stuff or business stuff or photography related stuff, but you got to go out there with that podcast idea for autism. You know, children or mothers or parents or the Little League, and just say, I want to go and I want to bless this family. I want to go and I want to bless this mother or this child, and let them know that they're not alone. One, they're not alone, and two, I'm here in case they need any help or support or anything like that. So if you can start a project with that in your heart, it's going to be a success. No matter if you have one view, you know, if you have that one mother that said, you know what, Daniela, you know, I broke down when I heard your first podcast. I broke down when I heard your story. Because I went through the exact same thing, and now, you know, that motivates me to go further with my child, or you know, expand my research on this, you know, what would you call it? Is it a condition, a disease, or what would you?
Oh, it's a disability.
Right? And so, I would advise you just do it. I mean, you don't have to have fancy equipment. You just have to have the heart for it.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what, like, where I was going with it, as far as, like, I like being your friend because you always encourage me to, you know, it's my thoughts and like ideas or things like that, that they're fine. They're not weird. They're not quote unquote dumb ideas. Like they're good ideas. And because I always come to you, like, or not always, but recently I've been coming to you, especially now that I'm out of school and stuff, that I would tell you stuff like, oh, like, I think I could do more. I have a degree and I know I'll be working in this such and such field, but, like, I think I could do more, or I think I could, like, help a lot more people.
Yeah.
Than...
And, I think a podcast would be a good idea for you, and maybe the Little League, too. I mean, I would start off with the podcast because it's something you could do at home, and it could be really relaxing for you. So, for those who don't know, Daniela is a physician assistant. High five to that, Daniela. Right there, let's get this. Yeah. Very proud of her. Yeah, so like you're gonna be doing this type of work, right? You're gonna be intaking these clients and these patients and helping them
I like
out.
how you and I always get confused. Whenever you tell me like, oh, my client's coming in, and I always call your clients patients, and you always call my patients clients.
There you go. Your patients, you're gonna be talking to all these patients, helping them out. And I feel like if you're in this, 12-hour shift and you're at work, I don't know how many hours you can have to work, but let's say you're working these tough hours and you go home and you want to relax. I think it's cool. I think if you go home, get your cup of wine, set up your mic, do your mic check, Mega DJ Wet on the mix.
1 2 1 2.
1 2 episode 1 of whatever podcast name you
talk to you, girl.
Yeah. And you just let it out. Like you just kind of like talk about it, before bed or something like that, and just let out one episode, upload it, go to sleep.
Yeah, because I think I
think it would be a good relaxing thing.
I liked your idea when you were like, oh, I'm doing the podcast, and I remember asking you like, why?
Ew.
Ew.
Why do you do those things?
Ew. Why?
Ew.
And you were like, well, it's because I feel like people ask me for advice like on social media and stuff like that about photography or their small business, and I think this would be helpful to people and kind of be like in one go, just kind of drop little bits of knowledge here and there.
Yeah.
With me it's not so much like, oh, it's a small business, but mine is just more like just like how my life has gone or how I experience things being a sibling of someone with autism, and I think that would be, hopefully, I think it would be helpful for people. And you always like inspire me to like try something.
Yeah. And if it all fails, you tried it. It was online. It's online. It's going to be there forever. Maybe someone...
If it fails, ni modo.
Ni modo, dude.
Ni
no,
modo,
dude. I think it will do well.
Sell the equipment.
The only thing is that you have to promote it. And so a lot of times, entrepreneurs, business starters, blah, blah, blahs, they go into a project, they go into a business expecting
it to be a success
overnight.
Yeah, man.
And there's no hard work put into it, And I think so. Like I said, it's not like, let's say you go home. Let's pretend you have a podcast, right? You go to work, you go home, you're like, let me set up this mic real quick. Let's do one podcast before bed. So let's say you cut it. It's about 15 minutes or something. You talk about a certain experience. You upload it to YouTube or whatever you want to put it on. The next day, I would advise you just to promote the heck out of it. Just, hey everybody on my Facebook feed, this is something I'm starting. Anybody that can relate to, check it out. So, it's okay. Share it. If you have a family member that has a child with autism, share this. It's my testimony. Maybe it will bless them with something.
Yeah.
That's your first step. Second step is take a selfie with your new mic. Post it online. I know it sounds funny.
But
But
the thing is, like, it's
just let people know you're doing it.
But see where our different reaction is. You see it as being like totally normal. I'm gonna take a selfie with it. Perfect way of promoting. And what does the natural nerd in me do? Like, starts cringing, being like, that's weird, and starts getting awkward.
Well, you're not taking a selfie. Take a selfie of your mic. You could just say, look, I just started a podcast. Check it out.
But exactly, like, see, that's where you coming into play as being my best friend comes into handy, because like you expand my brain creatively, where it's like, that is actually a really good way of promoting it. Take a picture of a mic, take a picture of me with a mic, and promote it. And you always are I've always liked like your mentality with things is like just go for it, just try it.
And you know what will help a lot too, that you're a physician assistant. Like, you have credentials not only the experience of 24 years with your sibling, she's 24, right?
Yeah, man. She's getting old, man.
I know. We're getting old.
We're getting old. Well, you're older than me, so.
I am older than you. I'm a grandpa already.
I know.
But you have that credential, and that, let's say a mom's listening in, you start out your intro with, this is Daniela Garza, physician assistant, coming in with episode 2. Well,
that's the thing. Like, I think I would want to keep it separate from my career.
Right.
Like, I think I would want it to be, like, I'm a physician assistant, but I'm not there to give them, like,
medical advice.
I'm not there to, I wouldn't want it to be more like, oh, let me teach you how to take care of your child with this disorder. It's more like, that's not your only child. You have another child that doesn't have autism that, like, this is maybe how she could be feeling, or he or she could be feeling, Yeah. Because that's the thing, like, I think, I like how this is turning now more into a podcast about myself right now.
That's fine. That's what I want it to be.
Well, like, I think I wanted, like, I think the idea process that I was going with was more like, there's a lot of autism awareness things and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of times those families have other children and they don't know how they're feeling, or, people don't hear about the other sibling, and they always hear about, like, the parent's struggle raising the child and awareness for the child who has the disorder, but it's like, how about the siblings who are having to, sacrifice, but kind of like give up their time with their parent and having to deal with a very
like, you're basically turning into a parent, right?
Yeah, like,
or something like that.
Or something like that, or a very mature young person, like at a very young age, and it's not very ideal growing environment, I guess.
Right.
If you want to say that.
No, yeah.
But I would just want it to be separate, just because, like, I don't want to be like, oh, let me teach you this. But it's more like,
let's just talk about it.
Let's just talk about it. Like, be comfortable with it, and be comfortable with your feelings of being that sibling.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you're serious about it and it's something in your heart,
I'll do it here.
No, I'll help you set up your house, but I'll come and we'll have dialogue about it. Well, I'll do the first 5 episodes with you.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
We just talk about it. And then I can help you promote it, those first 5 episodes, and then see who we get on your show after that.
Yeah, like, I'd be totally down for that.
You know what? One, like, Gary Vaynerchuk, he brought on his dad on one of the episodes, but it was already in, like, episode 190 something, or like.
They talk about it.
Well, he brings on his dad.
Imagine if I were to have one of my parents.
I was thinking that. I was like, I think this would be like the feature episode. Like the late, one of your later episodes, like bringing in mom and just mom, give it to me. Just tell me how it's been.
That would be like, if that were to ever happen, that would be like the deepest thing my mom and I have ever talked about, sort of thing, because that's something that, like, I think, like, and this is my best friend, like, and we've talked about everything under the sun together, but I think that is like I think that's why I want to have my podcast, because the parents of the child think one way, because they think, like, I'm the one taking the whole brunt of it, but the child is dealing with the brunt of it themselves, but in a different way, or the sibling is. And I think, like, if I were to talk to if I were to ever get to the point of having my mother on the podcast, or my father, imagine.
Dude, he would be awesome.
My dad.
I would love to be there live, just to hear it.
Yeah, like, I would love to.
I'll be your sound guy. I'll be setting up all your mics and everything. I'll do it.
But you're just there just to hear, just to be like, cheese me on the, like, oh my god, he said that.
Oh my God.
That's what's going on.
I'll have to, like, bleep out some stuff.
We'd have to have Beep. Like, beers there.
Yeah.
No, like, I think it'd be good. Because honestly, like, I think, like, just the same way you're very proud of your parents and how hardworking they are and stuff like that, I'm very proud of mine. And my mother, like, really, really, she's a great mother to an autistic child.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe that.
She took on the school district and everything for my sister to get her the best education she could manage pre-internet era. Imagine.
Dang. Licking those envelopes and mailing them out.
No, imagine going through medical journals.
Oh.
Going through medical journals and textbooks when autism wasn't even a thing. Imagine.
Yeah. Dude, she has a story. And that I think that should be your ultimate goal. And I think your mom and your dad would be really proud of you if you do something like that. It's going to be something they're going to look at. They'll probably be like, why are you doing that? Like, my parents always do that.
Yeah, my parents are very private. I think that's a millennial thing. Like, us as millennials, we look
at me.
Well, not so much look at me. I think we're all... because of social media and like you feel it's such easy access to like either do word vomit on social media or put like all your feelings you could ever think about out there. Or disguise your feelings with like, oh, this cool quote that I found on Pinterest that I'm putting on. But I think we're more in touch with our emotions and like letting ourselves be out there. You know, and I mean, for me, that would be probably the most personal thing. Like, I could probably do unless I put like relationship failures podcast. On the ones and twos or PA School 101. What the hell is happening to me in 2 years? Dude. No.
But yeah, like I said, I'll go on and set up your audio system. We'll do the I'll do the first 5 episodes. We'll just create a dialogue. I'll ask you the questions. So it's like I'll be interviewing you about your life, and we'll break it down to 5 episodes.
Yeah, man.
If we can, maybe more.
We'll do it like every day. Just kidding. No, it's just us like talking about TV or something.
Yeah. And so another thing that I would like to mention is that Daniela has been helping lately at the office, and she has helped. I had an office. My first office in McAllen was on 10th Street, close to Dove, between Dove and Robin. Let's just say Dove and Trenton.
Yeah, that's a huge range, but yeah.
Yeah, we're like Hillbilly. Okay, next to Hillbilly's Western Club, next to Coco's, behind Coco's, aka the hidden office. Anyways, it was legit. I mean, to be a freshly graduated, undergrad from UT Austin, coming back home to mama's place, and getting an office at like $350 a month, and to be how old was I? I graduated in 2012. It's 2016 right now. 20.
We were like 24.
24.
Around there, because that was, I started PA school. I'm 26. No, you were probably 23, 24 maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Dang.
So I had an office at 23 years old. We had
on a busy street because 10th Street is like
10th Street, busy street. I think it was behind Coco's, so. But everybody knows what Coco's was and Hillbilly, so every time... Yeah,
it was easy to find it. We never had people getting lost.
I would just say go behind Coco's, you'll find me. My humongous window had a humongous logo on it. So at 23 years old, I had my first office in McAllen, was paying $375 rent of the office, $150 of
utilities.
Internet. Yeah, it was just internet. I didn't need water or anything like that. I started paying taxes. I was paying payroll on my sister, on my office assistant Adriana, and when Daniela would come in and help, I was paying her as well. And then I had to pay for to set up the business about $800. I got a really good deal because the lawyer next to me was a UT grad. So
it's to be an LLC or something like that?
Yeah, well, it still is an LLC, but he set it up for me. And original price that he was charging me was like $1,002, and I was like, dude. And he was like, when he saw my UT ring, he was like, I'm a UT grad too, and I was like, bro, hook it up. So he actually did, and so that was pretty cool. So I was like, at 23 years old, I was already like adulting it in the business life, paying taxes, paying payroll, paying employees. Your aunt was my accountant. I had a professional. I was paying your aunt. I was paying my accountant. I was paying the legal fees with the lawyer. I mean, I was like in there,
You were like that kid who, like the Mexican kid, when their dad teaches them how to swim, they just throw them in the canal. Yeah. Sort of situation.
I just went for it, man, and I encourage anybody to try it. It's rough. It's rough. There was times where I was like, I couldn't make payroll. There was times where I didn't pay myself so I can pay my assistants.
But I think that time when you came over here first and you had that office and everything, like, I remember being like, I remember you and I were both like, dude, you're living the high life. Dude. Look at how successful you graduated from UT. Look at your office. We had spruced up the office like really nice.
I would always get fresh flowers. Do you remember?
Yeah. Dude, I remember because I was the one who
had to... You would go buy them.
I would have to... No, even worse, I had to toss them out.
Oh, yeah.
And fill the water.
The green water.
Yeah, the green water. No, but I remember, like... I remember that time, but the time I remember even more fondly is when you came to the realization, like, I love the office space and it's great and all, but, you hit a certain point when you were like, do I really need this office? And that's where I think it was really important, like, and goes back to the point that you mentioned, that sometimes, like, no matter how much you want the office that looks perfect and looks nice, and you want to do payroll and everything, like, I liked, and I really looked up to you when you were able to step back and look at your office and think, and the business as a whole, and think, what do I need, what do I not need?
Right. And I was staying at my mom's place. I didn't have my own place yet, like I do now. And she lived really north of Edinburgh, like already exiting Edinburgh, like where Love's truck stop is. It's pretty far.
Yeah, like it's probably, 10 minutes away from San Manuel?
Yeah. And so it was a really long drive into town to McAllen every day. I'd come every day. And I was in this like super entrepreneur, businessman, 8 to 5 mode where I would like wake up at 7, eat breakfast, and go to work.
I remember you would be like, hey, so I fell asleep here in the office.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, are you... Why?
Yeah. There was times where I would sleep at the office because the drive back was too far, or I was too much gas money. I had a gym membership at Freedom. I just hit up Freedom in the morning, work out, take a shower, and go back to work. Like, that was the life that I lived.
So you were pretty much living in your office / car.
Yeah, I had
Freedom Fitness.
I had a mini fridge there at the office that I would stack up with snacks and salads, and so I would buy myself breakfast. Like, I was eating out like a pig every day.
Yeah, I was there. I eat the same stuff.
Yeah, we did. Starbucks every day. There was a time, dude, when I would get a Starbucks every day. Because, like, it's on the way to work. And so,
that was also the other transition you made. Because then for a while, like, when you got out of having the office, or was it right before you had the office, all your meetings were either at
Moonbeams or Starbucks.
Yeah. Because that was the best place. And then you got the office, and then the office, like, there was just so many...
I was there for, like, 2 years.
Yeah, there were just so many variables into having the office where it was just like...
Yeah, like the internet was super expensive. Like, internet was $150 for Time Warner business cable. My mom had Time Warner regular cable, internet,
and it was faster
than... And it was faster than that at $50. And I was like, they just jack up the price just because you're in a commercial building.
Well, not only just that, but then... I
got smart the second year, though, because then my neighbors, they got internet. They had the same internet, and I said, let me cut mine off, and let me go approach them and say... Let's share this internet. Like, the walls were super thin because they'd always get mad at me for having my music really loud. So if the walls are super thin where they can hear my music very low, I'm pretty sure I can get their Wi-Fi access. And so I went and I said, hey, man, y'all want to cut this internet in half, this bill in half, and I'll pay half every month. I'll pre-send you a check, and we cut, we'll take on this bill together. And it happened. So I was able to cut my bill down to like $75, $65.
Yeah, but I think then to a certain point, it was your living situation that was getting it super...
Yeah, it was too far.
Yeah. But, I mean, I love where you're at now because it's close to...
So what happened was... Let me explain that.
Okay.
So what happened was that, it was so much money to go from Edinburgh to McAllen every day, doing an 8 to 5 type of thing. And not only that, but then going out and doing the jobs on the weekends or during the week and doing the photo shoot. It's just a lot of gas.
Yeah, and quinces and weddings and late.
Yeah, and then... so not only that, we'd have to go to the event... pack up the stuff at night around 12, go back to the office. I wouldn't get home till like 2 because my mom lives super far. I'd have to make sure that everything was put away correctly and charged for the next day in case there was another shoot. What I had to do is I had to let go of my employees too. So like Adriana, she had to let go. I had to let go of her. I had to let go of my sister who was my photo editor.
Me? I think I was the first cut.
Yeah, you were the first cut.
I was
and it sucked because like, when your best friend's working for you, you have to tell them, hey, I can't pay you anymore,
And I was just there, honestly, like, I know.
Yeah, because you would see the struggle, right?
Well, because that was also a huge transition too. Because if you think about it, that was also the time when you had the brilliant idea of I'm just going to do wedding photography, and that's why you had brought me in. Because not only was I doing an awkward transition, like between undergrad and grad school, but also the fact that you just wanted to do wedding stuff.
So I had to take a new approach of marketing, so I brought in my friend.
We kept trying to do all the wedding expos, and that was like my job, like trying to get us into all the wedding magazines and for the wedding expos and stuff like that, which is also very expensive. Very expensive.
I don't even do those. It has been a while. It's been since then since I did a wedding expo. So I was saying, I had to let go of Daniela.
First.
Sorry, Daniela. She was a sacrifice. I let go of Adriana. Then I let go of my sister, which was my photo editor. I wasn't even paying her that. I was paying her minimum wage, right? But it was tough because I had to pay them their payment, right? Their biweekly paycheck plus paying the taxes on them. and then
the payroll tax,
and then paying your aunt, the accountant, to do that payroll tax. It was just a lot of money.
Because weren't you trying to get someone to do the payroll taxes for you at one point?
Well,
you were trying to have someone figure it out.
Yeah,
but it was just becoming a mess.
Yeah, Adriana was doing it at the time, but like it's just. So if we're not educated in accounting, it's just we shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we had your aunt to do that. She was professional, so we went with her. I mean, there was a point where I had to let go of your aunt too. I just couldn't afford all these things.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. Like that's where
photography income fluctuates all the time. My best friend Laura, our other best friend, she would always say, "Ben, I know you're making a lot of money, but you got nothing to show for it." And it's true. Like I was always struggling. Like I couldn't have the good stuff. Like you'd say, I had the good stuff in life, but I was still driving the Cavalier, windows down, no aircon type of deal, until my dad gave me another car that had aircon, and so.
No, but I mean, but that's part of like the beauty of your journey, because
and it wasn't. I was never complaining about it. It's just something that we have to go as business owners. Like maybe you're going through it right now, and I advise you just keep going. It hurts. It sucks. It's hard. It's hot if you don't have aircon. It's tiring. You're sleepy. Your back hurts. Your neck hurts. Your feet hurt.
Your eyes hurt.
Your eyes hurt from being in front of the computer all the time. Your hand hurts from the camera you're gripping. It's just, but keep going. Don't stop. So, back to the point I was trying to make. Letting go everybody. I read a book called, it was by Tim Ferriss, called The 4-Hour Work Week. Mm-hmm. And he talked about how he hired for his company, he outsourced to India and to different places around the world. And so on the book, he had this link to this company called, I forgot what it was called, Odesk. It's called Odesk. And now it's called Upworks. Upworks.com. Check it out. You can hire anyone from around the world to do anything that you want them to do as far as business-wise. And so I found this awesome girl named Jen Bosnia. Some of that. Jen Bosnia, Jen Benoza. I can't pronounce her last name. But I found she's from the Philippines. Mm-hmm. She had an accounting degree. Mm-hmm. She had just finished school there in the Philippines. She had posted up a job. I had posted up a job application for someone that would run my office, but digitally, right, from online only. Mm-hmm. Emails, text messages, Facebook, Instagram, everything that has to do with just online. She turned out to be the best candidate because she had worked for a photographer before. She gave me an amazing rate that I will share. It was $5 an hour, $5 American, $3 Filipino peso, something like that. And you think, and I mean, to them that's a normal rate over there, but like, you know, no, it was $5 American rate, $5 American US dollar that I would pay out to the Odesk company. Mm-hmm. She would receive $15 Filipino peso, so it triples over there, the American dollar. And so for me, $5 an hour, paying no payroll taxes on an outsourced employee was like the perfect setup.
And an employee who is like
amazing.
Yeah.
And so she would do. I would say, Jen, I would always. And here's the weird thing too about it though. The only niche there was she could not make phone calls because she was about 9 hours ahead of us.
Well, we'll just say time differences.
There's a time difference, right, in the Philippines versus America, U.S.
Well, versus central
time. Yeah.
In the United States.
In the United States versus the Philippines, wherever she was. And so I would ask her to do something, and she would go above and beyond and do like the next 2 tasks that follow that task. Mm-hmm. At this price, at $5 an hour, you know, for me, $15 for her. And I was like, man, this is the best investment I ever made. That was the second year I was there. Mm-hmm. I got smart. I read books. Like you said, I'm always reading. You got to always read, guys. You got to pick up any business book by any well-known business man.
Well, I still remember when you got that 4-Hour Work Week book.
I would never put it down, right?
Yeah, you were like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
And like every other page was dog-eared because you were like...
And I would always try to share all these ideas when you're like, I'm studying. Leave me alone.
No, well, not even that. I was even worse. I was in between. I'm like, Ben, I'm going to interview for this program, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you were focused on something else. But anyways, Jen,
but I always listen.
Jen, if you're listening, you are amazing, and thank you for all the blessings that you've done. I know you are now traveling in New Zealand, meeting new people, exploring, taking amazing photographs. And I know you're still working with the Australian photographers, and hopefully that goes well for you. Anyway, she would manage my Shoot Queue, which is a program online. It's a client management system that allows you to plug in all your leads and your current signed.
Bless Jen for being able to figure that out, because that was I remember that was like one of the tasks that you had tried having me do.
Yeah, I had. you and Laura actually helped me set that up back in the day.
Well, Laura helped you set it up, and I was the one who had to like actually start using it. And I remember being like, I have no idea.
For those who don't know what it is, if you want to visit shootq.com, that's SHOOTQ.com. It's a CRM, client management system. Allows you to input all your leads and your booked clients. Allows you to create contracts and sell products on from there, or contract products out or something like that. Templates, email templates, everything. It's the works, man. It's better than you doing it on your own. It's automated.
Like all the templates, I remember.
We have to write all the emails out.
Yeah,
like anything that you thought that you had to say to a client, we have it written out on that.
Yeah, it was great, and it allowed you to just send things out quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, and you set up timelines too. So like, let's say I have you as a client, Daniela, and the first thing that let's say I book you for a wedding, and the first thing that goes out is an automated email that says, Daniela, welcome to Bambrione Studios. We're so excited for you to be working with us. In a couple of days, check your email for a Starbucks gift card that I would like for you and your fiance to go on a date with from us. That's the first email that usually goes out when someone signs with us. And then the second email would follow up with, how was your date? Like these are all templates, and to the client it might seem like I'm being personal, and I'm being personal. I do care about what they're doing.
But it makes you more efficient with the fact that how many clients you have.
Yeah, and I don't have to do it. It's automated. And so I urge anybody and advise anybody to go and create a contract. It's a free trial, I think, for 3 months that you can do. It's not that expensive. I pay $39 a month, and it's a lifesaver. I've had it for years and years. Back to Jen. Jen, again, you're amazing if you're hearing this. But she was amazing. Yeah, she did all the ShootQ stuff. She did all the emails. She billed my clients. She did all my social media management. Had the fastest respond rate on Facebook. The business page, Jen will respond like in a heartbeat if I had a client. She followed instruction well. She did above beyond. So anyone who also is looking to grow their business but can't afford, and sadly this sounds weird, I guess, because right now of all the talk about outsourcing jobs and blah blah blah. But if you want to grow fast, and you feel that you're outgrowing your current situation in your business, go to upworks.com, create an account, and find yourself a digital office manager just to help you out. Even if it's just social media management, it really helps a lot. Daniela in the mix. So yeah, Daniela was able to experience all that with me.
Yeah, like that was it wasn't. It was actually cool.
I have this really cool photo of you. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
In the front of my office there in McAllen. Remember, you look like you had that.
Oh my god!
That you have like a hat on.
Don't even. I know.
You have white
I know
jeans,
exactly which
black
one it was.
black boots.
I thought it was the coolest thing because
I was like, dude, we're not in Austin no more. You're not a hipster.
No, even worse. So we had just come back from Austin and stuff like that, and we. Like, you and I were still transitioning where we were still the odd ones out at the time that were dressing, like, odd.
Yeah, I was, like, buttoning my shirt. I still do it, but I was, like, buttoning my shirt all the way to the top, like a cholo, but Austin style. I had my hat that I would wear.
Yeah, your cowboy hat all the time. But you and I went to lunch together.
Yeah.
Looking that way.
I would roll up my pants from the bottom, like if I was in Austin riding my single chain bike or whatever.
Yeah, no, I was like thinking about now I know exactly what outfit it was. It was this like trucker hat, but it had like a black and white American flag in the front. I was rocking like my
denim
big old
shirt.
glasses, a denim shirt with like this necklace like under the collar, because I also buttoned the shirt up all the way with like white jeans and like motorcycle boots.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was doing, but
those were the days
and
we were in transition from Austin life to Valley life.
Yeah, and now we're like, but that's a good part about our friendship, because I think I've been there for you, like we've both been there together through our transition of like growing up age-wise, you know? But we've been with each other through different transitions. Like, I've been with you through different transitions of your career. Yeah. Like, of your business.
And school, too. Like,
and school.
When I was going to UT, you were there.
Yeah, like, and then, let alone, like, and then with me, like, vice versa. It's like you going and seeing me through my transition periods and my progression, of going to school, going through an awkward period, going through more school, and now being in another awkward period, you know? And like, I love how, because you've been quote unquote adulting longer than I have, like with taxes and stuff, I've always liked the fact that I could always talk to you about stuff, or you've always been a mature, like, cat, like, compared to a lot of people our age because of your business and everything, and how you and I both grew up fairly similar. So I always like how you and I could always talk and, like, level with each other. Yeah. So that always helped. And I'm excited, like, for where... Like, I'm excited that I'm going to celebrate yet another birthday for you. I think this is the first time I'm going to actually get to celebrate your birthday with you since Austin, because all the other times I was always studying. Yeah. Like the nerd I am and proud to be. Like, I missed all the theme parties. Dude. Because
you missed out.
Huh?
You missed out.
No, I know. I saw pictures and I was like the one there studying and like I missed everything. But
I would always get that. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Brolo.
Or Bud.
Brolo. No.
Brolo,
I don't call you Bud. I call, like, my other guy friends Bud. But you're my Brolo.
Brolo. For Cholo.
Yeah, no. Well,
for Rolo.
For
Cholo.
Bro for life.
Dolo.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know where the other O came from, but I probably was for Cholo.
How did we create Brolo? Was it me or was it you that created Brolo?
I think it was you, and then it just stuck because you always came up with everything.
When I say Brola, no, I say Brolo.
Because you would say Beffa to us, and I would call you. I don't know.
I came up with Brolo.
You came up with Brolo for sure, but no, like I'm excited to see where, like, our friendship grows from here, because now you're in this new phase of your career, because, like, you starting a potentially turning into, like, full-time job as a professional photographer for a well-respected learning facility here, STC, and while doing your business, you know, of course, you do everything, and then now with the podcast and seeing how that goes, and then you're very involved in the ministry that you attend, and you help them with their media stuff. Yeah. Also, and music, which is a new thing you're doing. So that's going to be interesting for me to see with you. Yeah. And then, like, with myself, like, I'm finally going to it'll be my first official time out of school. Yeah. Yay, finally. And, you know, seeing me transition into, like, the workforce and stuff like that and careers, you know, like, it's interesting. Like, what was it, like a month ago? You and I, like, went again to our old stomping ground, Roosevelt's, to have a talk about, bro, what's a 401k?
Bro, life talking.
What are benefits?
I was like, you need a savings account. You need to start investing. You need to, like,
you need to get a credit card. You need to get credit.
Some credit. Just get a credit card. Put some Netflix on it. Just let it roll. But yeah, I mean, I think this is gonna wrap up the episode 3 with Daniela Garza, my best friends forever. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
No, my pleasure, man.
And we'll be hearing from you more in your success. I want to bless you and make sure that you do well, and I'm always be here for you as a best friend, and you can always count on me, Daniela.
Thank you.
And we are done. We are out. Radio 10 Photo Podcast. Thank you.